All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about a true musical giant. We're going to try and piece together the story of Marvin Gaye, a life that was absolutely brilliant, incredibly complex, and, deeply tragic. And really, this quote, it just nails it. It's the key to understanding the man. His whole life, his entire career, it was all a search for something more, something real. And he poured all of that into a voice that is, truly one of the greatest we've ever heard. So, let's start at the beginning. How does someone get titles like the Prince of Motown or the Prince of Soul? Well, I can tell you this much. His journey started a long, long way from any kind of royalty. And right here, you can see the two forces that would pull at him for his entire life. You've got this super strict religious home life, thanks to his father being a minister. But then, it's in that same church that he finds his voice, that amazing blend of gospel fire and smooth R&B. That mix, and honestly, that conflict, is what Marvin Gaye is all about.
So, the big question is, how does a minister's son from D.C. end up in the heart of the Detroit hit machine? Well, he was about to step into the world of Motown.
And man, did he find his place quickly. Look at this timeline. He's with the Moonglows 1 minute, signs with Motown the next, and then, bam, almost immediately, he's got hits like Stubborn Kind of Fellow and Pride and Joy climbing the charts. The guy was an absolute rocket ship. But here's the thing. His solo hits were only part of the picture. At Motown, he became known as the duet king. He just had this magic, this incredible chemistry when he sang with someone else. It was pure gold. Yeah, he sang with some real heavy hitters like Mary Wells and Kim Weston. But his duets with Tammy Terrell, that was something else entirely. We're talking about songs like Ain't No Mountain High Enough. These aren't just songs, they're part of our culture. Their partnership is legendary for a reason. Okay, so Marvin's a huge star now. He's the polished Prince of Soul. But you can feel something's bubbling under the surface. This is where the story takes a turn. This is his rebellion, and it's the rebellion that would lead to his absolute masterpiece. And that's really what it all comes down to, right? What happens when an artist who already has a famous voice finally finds their true voice, their real message? Well, when Marvin Gaye found his, he didn't just make a great record. He changed music. Forever. So what was the trigger for this huge shift? It was just immense tragedy. When his duet partner and dear friend Tammy Terrell passed away, it completely broke him. He just couldn't sing the same old love songs anymore. He started looking at the world, questioning everything. And all of that pain, all of that confusion became the fire for what came next. Just look at what he was singing about. War, poverty, racism, even the environment. We have to remember, this is 1971. Motown was the hit factory. They did pop. They did love songs. You are not supposed to be making protest music about Vietnam. Marvin had to fight Motown, fight them hard just to get this album released. And in that fight, he created, without a doubt, one of the greatest albums of all time. So after creating a masterpiece like that, what's next? Well, for Marvin, his life became this incredible and incredibly painful balancing act. It was all about duality, the soul, the sensuality, and the deep, deep sorrow. And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have the musical genius. Let's Get It On, I Want You. These albums are landmarks. But on the other side, you see the reality. The depression, the substance abuse, the messy relationships, money troubles. He was making this breathtakingly beautiful music while his personal life was just falling apart. And just when you think maybe his struggles were going to win, he stages one of the most epic comebacks you'll ever see. Sexual Healing comes out, and it's not just a hit, it's a worldwide phenomenon. It puts him right back on top, and get this, it finally wins him 2 Grammys, the validation he'd been chasing his whole life. This next part, this is the tough part of the story, because right after that amazing high point comes an absolutely unthinkable low. His life was cut short, but his voice never fades. Just look at these dates. It's brutal. In 1983, he's holding those Grammys, he's back on top of the world. Then, a little over a year later, the day before his 45th birthday, he's killed by his own father. It's just a shocking, devastating end to such a complicated life. But that wasn't the end of his story. Not by a long shot, because just 3 years later, in 1987, his place in history was sealed. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right where he belongs, with the true immortals. And his influence today? It's just everywhere. You've got the nicknames, Prince of Motown, Prince of Soul. You've got What's Going On, an album that people will be studying for hundreds of years. And then there are all the artists he inspired, from Stevie Wonder and Prince all the way to Usher and Beyoncé. His sound is literally part of the DNA of modern music, and new fans are discovering him every single day. So we're left with this big question, a question that Marvin Gaye's whole life seems to ask. How does so much pain create something so timeless? I think his story shows us that sometimes the most powerful art comes from the deepest hurt. His struggle was real and his pain was immense. But his music gave that pain a voice that is still crying out, still searching for love, justice, and understanding. And we're all still listening.